वीडियो देखने से पहले मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन दबाएं। अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल लर्न एनी टाइम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। Definition of curriculum. Some authors define curriculum as the total effort of the school to bring about desired outcomes in school and out of school situations. It is also defined as a sequence of potential experiences set up in school for the purpose of disciplining children and youth in group ways of thinking and acting. Other definitions of curriculum. Curriculum is a structured set of learning outcomes or tasks that educators usually call goals and objectives. Curriculum is the what of teaching. Curriculum listings of subjects to be taught in school. A document which describes a structured series of learning objectives and outcomes for a given subject matter area. Includes a specification of what should be learned, how it should be taught, and the plan for implementing or assessing the learning. A curriculum plan is the advanced arrangement of learning opportunities for a particular population of learners. A curriculum guide is a written curriculum. Curriculum planning. It is the process of preparing for the duties of teaching, deciding upon goals and emphasis, determining curriculum content, selecting learning resources and classroom procedures, evaluating progress, and looking toward next steps. Curriculum development. It is defined as the process of selecting, organizing, executing, and evaluating learning experiences on the basis of the needs, abilities, and interests of the learners and nature of the society or community. Curriculum laboratory. Curriculum laboratory is a place or workshop where curriculum materials are gathered or used by teachers or learners of curriculum. Resource unit is a collection or suggested learning activities and materials organized around a given topic or area which a teacher might utilize in planning, developing, and evaluating a learning unit. Two schools of thought on curriculum development. Two schools of thought predominated throughout history of curriculum development are: number 1, the essentialist school, the progressive school. The essentialist school. It considers the curriculum as something rigid consisting of disciplined subjects. It considers all learners as much as the same, and it aims to fit the learner into the existing social order and thereby maintain the status quo. Its major motivation is discipline and considers freedom as an outcome and not a mean of education. The other school is the progressive school. It conceives of the curriculum as something flexible based on areas of interest. It is learner-centered, having in mind that no two persons are alike. Its factor of motivation is individual achievement, believing that persons are naturally good. The role of teacher is to stimulate direct learning process. It uses a life experience approach to fit the student for future social life. Different theories. The fundamental concept of some curricula have changed. In many areas, new methodologies, programmed instruction, computer-assisted instruction, tutorials, large and small group instruction, and a variety of individualized instruction procedures have been developed. Different emphases. There is a curriculum emphasis on the subject matter for the mind, with priority in value to literature, intellectual history, ideas of religion, philosophy, studies. There is the curricular emphasis on the observable facts, the world of things. Rolf Taylor model, 4 basic principles. Number 1, purpose of the school. Number 2, educational experiences related to the purpose. Number 3, organization of the experiences. Number 4, evaluation of the experiences. Hilda Taba, grassroots approach. Diagnosis of learners' needs and expectations of the larger society. Formulation of learning objectives. Selection of the learning content. Organization of learning content. Selection of the learning experiences. Organization of learning activities. Determination of what to evaluate and the means of doing it. Steps of curriculum development. Taylor's questions of curriculum development will provide 4 steps. What educational purpose should the school seek to attain? What educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes? How can these educational experiences be effectively organized? How can we determine whether these purposes are being attained? Steps. In answering Taylor's questions, we arrive the following basic steps of curriculum development. Selection of aims, goals and objectives. Selection of learning experiences and content. Organization of learning experiences and evaluation of the content to which the objectives have been achieved. The 4 steps above are basic because they can be more than 4. Curriculum development. Some curriculum experts like Taylor say that the steps are followed in the sequence or right straight line. This model that assumes that curriculum decision making follow a straight line is called linear model. This line contains selection of aims, number 2 selection of content and learning experiences, number 3 organization of content and learning experiences, number 4 evaluation of learning outcomes. Curriculum development. Other scholars argue that curriculum decision making is not a simple linear process that necessarily starts with aims. One of them is Wheeler, who believes that curriculum decision making can start from any point and can come back to any of the points like a cycle. Like we start from evaluation, it goes to aims, goals and objectives, then selection of learning experiences, then selection of content, and then the organization and integration of learning experiences and content, and that finally goes to evaluation again, and that cycle goes on. Curriculum development. Kerr also believes that curriculum process is a very complex set of activities and decisions, and they interact a lot. Changes made in content may necessitate changes in experiences, which may again bring about changes in evaluation, etc. Selection of aims and objectives. Every curriculum is aimed at developing in the learners certain competencies or abilities. The curriculum processes must therefore clearly identify the aims that the curriculum is intended to achieve. Curriculum aims range from the very broad to the more specific. In fact, that is why we use the terms aims, goals and objectives to refer them. Aims are broad statements which cover all the experiences provided in the curriculum. Goals are tied to specific subjects or group of contents within the curriculum, while objectives describe the more specific outcomes that can be attained as a result of lessons or instruction delivered at the classroom. Factors in selecting aims. Analysis of our culture. We should take into account our cultural values, norms, and expectations when selecting aims. The present status of the learner. What has the learner already known? What are his or her characteristics? What is he or she ready for? The state of our knowledge of the subject matter or content. We should examine new developments in knowledge to see if they contain things that are of real value to the learner and society. Relevance to schools' philosophy of education. Each nation has its own philosophy of education which its schools try to implement. Nigeria's philosophy of education is contained in its national policy on education. We should ask whether the objectives we select are relevant to this philosophy. consistency with our theory of learning. At any time in any society, there is a dominant conception of learning, that is our understanding what learning is, how it take place. For instance, the national policy on education anticipates that the Nigerian child is active, exploratory, and imaginative. Selection of content and learning experiences. Content is what we teach. Learning experience is an activity which the learner engages in, which results in changes in his behavior. We should select those content and learning experiences that will in attaining the goals of the curriculum. There are some factors to consider in selecting both learning experiences and content. We shall first examine those criteria for selecting learning experiences. Factors in selecting learning experiences. Validity. This refers to the relevance of the stated learning experience to the stated goals of the curriculum. Relevance to life. Learning experience must be related to the learner's real life situations in and out of school. Variety. Learning experiences must cater to the needs of different types of learners by providing different types of experiences. Suitability. Learning experiences must be suitable to the learner's present state of learning and characteristics. Selection of learning experiences. Cumulative. Even though experiences provided may be different, they should all lead to the attainment of the same goal. Subsequent experiences should build on earlier ones. Multiple learning. A single learning experience may bring about multiple outcomes. Such learning experiences are important because of their multiple benefits. Factors in selecting content. Validity means two things. Is the content related to the objectives, and is the content true or authentic? Significance. Is the content significant, or what lead it to the more mastery or more understanding of the course or subject? Utility. Here the question is whether the content selected is useful, that is will lead to the acquisition of skills and knowledge that are considered useful by society. Interest. Is the content interesting to the learner, or can the content be made interesting to learners? Learnability. Is the content selected such that learners can learn and understand given their personal level? Curriculum design. There are different designs: the subject area design, the integrated design, the core curriculum design, the child-centered design, the social reconstruction design, the deschooling design. Evaluation. First of all, definition of evaluation. Curriculum evaluation is a systematic process of determining whether the curriculum as designed and implemented has produced or is producing the intended and desired results, is the means of determining whether the program is meeting its goals, that is, whether the measures or outcomes for a given set of instructional inputs match the intended or pre-specified outcomes. Types of evaluation. Humanistic approach, goal-free. Number 2, scientific approach, purpose-driven. Objectives of evaluation. Scope, teaching, program, cost, effectiveness. Timing, that includes formative, summative, and impact. Method, which may be quantitative or qualitative. Level, classroom, school, or national. Personal involved, it may be individual, teachers, committees, or consultants. Thank you for watching that video. Allah Hafiz.